It was the hardest song to put on the last album, I'll say that. Probably the hardest song we ever put on an album, because we were sort of split down the middle of, after we wrote the song, of sort of who was carrying that personally and who wasn't. And it's one of those songs we came into a meeting like that about, going, I don't know if that's my song, you know? And for us, honesty and lyric and in our songs, we try to write songs that we need to sing. And we need to pray, and this became one of those. And I think the struggle for identity is something we all thought, at least I did. Like when I was a teenager, I thought, okay, when I get older, like life's gonna get easier, you know? So when I get old, like when I turn 30, this is gonna be just easy, you know. And then I'm 35 now, and I'm like, no, I've got more questions than I have answers in life now, and more options to compare myself to that guy or that guy or that girl and that dad or that husband or that musician, whatever it may be. And this became a real honest song about, where do I get my identity from? You know?
My pastor had like a great observation about this. He's like, you don't ever compare yourself to the people that are way out of your league, like the crazy wealthy people. Like I've never been like, oh, I just want to be like Warren Buffett. But like the guy that lives next door to you that has a little more than you do. Totally. That's the one that you compare yourself to, or the one that looks like they have the perfect life and he's the perfect dad and you're falling short in it. It's like that's where we get messed up with the comparisons.
Absolutely. And it's so readily available on every outlet now to see someone else's day and compare our day to theirs, or compare our accomplishments to theirs through social media and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, and everyone's lying. That's the thing. Like everybody puts out their life like it's perfect. Like here, consume my all perfect life, and
exactly.
they're just as messed up, but they're just better photographers.
No question. Yeah. And so this was that sort of, man, identity matters a whole lot. It matters to the core of who we are when we can get our identity from the one who created us, the one who made us, when we can rest in that, when we can have peace in that. That's where life and creativity and true life comes out of. That's where, you know, love comes out of, when we see the image of God in one another. And it starts by seeing that in ourselves and then seeing it in the rest of the world. And so Tell Me became that prayer for us, of a very honest prayer. And truthfully, the day we wrote it, I mean, I came into that writing session going, I want to write about identity because I'd been processing a lot and we've been talking about it at our church. But we finished writing that song, and I think I was arrogant in that moment, at least without realizing it, but arrogant in that moment to think this is somebody else's song, and this message is for someone else. And as we began to rewrite it and rework it and then own the song, it became very clear, no, this is my prayer for me as a 35-year-old guy and a dad of 3. This is our prayer as a band, that we get our identity from one person, silence the thousands and thousands of other voices that want to tell us who we are and who we're supposed to be, and listen to the one who said, you're the sought-after ones, the redeemed ones. You're my children, my beloved, you know, and rely on that, rest in that.